Shri Advaita Vedanta, Srivasadi Gauranga, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Sarvashastra Piyusha, Sarvaveda Sattala, Sarvasiddhanta Natya, Sarvaloka Viprada, Sarvabhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvanto Dita, Shri Krishna Parivartita. Paramananda Pathaya Brahma Shaksharayo Te Sarvada Sarvasevya Shri Krishna Namastume Madega Bhatto Matsanti Madhuro Mahadhana Manasarika Madhagya Madhananda Namastute Tasathu Sadhataya Nate Chatakara Anam Chakatachin Mapremna Hutate Oskura Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Also open Dr. Siddhanta Saraswati for edition. Okay, 15. Niratmakaha Taradharashmi Na Vyakta Satra Atma or Tatratma. Just a minute, let me just counter check. 15. Oh, I have something else here. I have something else here. This is becoming annoying. Each one I have to keep checking. Abdhi Salile Karanarnava Jale. So here, Abdhi Salile means on the waters of the causal ocean. There's a question here. Yes.
Prabhu, I have a doubt regarding this shining egg of text 14. Like we saw that photo of Mahavishnu lying in causal ocean and he's exhaling in the universe. When Mahavishnu is lying on causal ocean in Yoga Nidra and he's exhaling, so all the small universes are coming out from his skin pore holes. So this shining egg is the same bubbles. That bubble is referred here as shining egg.
Where are the bubbles referred? Okay, but where the bubbles are referred to? No, they each.
No, means there is a description that when Mahavishnu exhales, universes comes out of his skin pore holes as bubbles or as some round shaped something. So this shining egg is indicating the same universe which is coming out from the skin pore holes.
See, Anda means egg. Brahmanda means the egg that is controlled by Brahma. So it looks like simultaneously so many different Brahmandas are coming out, each one coming out from his bodily romakupas, the hair, pores. So what is your question?
So this shining egg, like it has two parts. First part of the question is, this is the same, this shining egg is indicating to that same universe, Brahmanda, which is coming out of the romakupa of Mahavishnu. Are these two same?
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear.
And in case you are speaking something I cannot hear.
Oh, Prabhu, I asked whether both the things are indicating the same thing. The Brahmanda coming out of Romakupa and the shining egg mentioned here are both the same.
Yes. Brahmanda itself means egg. Brahma's egg.
So actually the question is, we hear that Mahavishnu glances and then uh, Srishti happens, or in that Brahmanda. So
No, no, no,
when
no,
does
no.
he?
No, no, no. It does not look like. No, Mahavishnu's glancing is a different event. That is when Prakriti itself begins to become activated, and then the creation of the universes is a different phase. It happens later.
So the present description which we are reading in 20th chapter, this is for which event?
This is the creation of the Brahmandas.
And Lord Mahavishnu has already glanced. This is
Yes,
event after that.
yes, because now the time has come for the Lord to enter into one particular universe as its Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. If you look at the initial verses of Brahma Samhita, things will become, the chronology will become more clear.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. How do I अब्धिसलिले कारणात्मक जले निरात्मकः तत्रत्य समष्टि जीवस्य अनुद्बोधात्. So everything was lifeless because all the collective living entities inside it were not yet awakened. Sagram kinchit adhikam varsha sahasram ashayishta. He was lying down for a little more than 1,000 years. Anu Tadanantaram, after that, Ishwaraha Mahatsrashta, Mahatsrashta, Garbhodashayi Rupena Avatsit. After that, the Lord and that the creator of the Mahatattva, he himself appeared into the universe in the form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Okay. Niratmakaha na vyaktas atma is Madhvacharya actually. The remark that was attributed to is actually by Madhvacharya. From this verse, it appears that all the universes are floating in the causal ocean. 16. तस्य नाभे रघुपद्मं सहस्रार्कोरुदीधिति सर्वजीवनिकायै no, सर्वजीवनिकायौकः सर्वजीवनिकायौको यत्र स्वयंभूत. From the navel of the personality of God, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, sprouted a lotus flower, effulgent like 1,000 blazing suns. This lotus flower is the reservoir of all conditioned souls. And the first living entity who came out of the lotus flower was the omnipotent Brahma. That should be a full stop here. Nabhe Sakasha, Yatra Padme Swarat Brahma. So from his navel appeared the Swarat Brahma. Swarat means here independent. That means he is now, this is an indication that Brahma has now been created and he has been empowered to deal with all the affairs of his universe. It appears from this verse that the conditioned souls who rested within the body of the personality of Godhead after the dissolution of the last creation came out in the some total form of the lotus. This is called Hiranyagarbha. The first living entity to come out was Lord Brahma, who is independently able to create the rest of the manifested universe. The lotus is described here as effulgent, as the glare of 1,000 suns. This indicates that the living entities, as parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are also of the same quality. Since the Lord also diffuses his bodily glare known as Brahmajyoti, The description of Vaikuntha Loka, as stated in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures, is confirmed here. In Vaikuntha, the spiritual sky, there's no need of sunshine, moonshine, electricity, or fire. Every planet there is self-effulgent like the sun. 17. Sonu Vishto Bhagavata Yashyete Salilashaye Loka Samstham Yathapurvam Nirmame Samsthaya Swaya. When that Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was lying on the Garbhodaka ocean, entered the heart of Brahma, Brahma brought his intelligence to bear, and with the intelligence invoked, he began to create the universe as it was before. So Brahma, Bhagavata Anuvishtaha, Adhishthitaha. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead entered into Brahma to take charge. Bhagavan eva kaha. Who is that Lord that is described? Yashete Salilashaye, the one who sleeps on the Garbhodaka ocean. That is that Lord who enters into his heart. Tatascha Sabrahma Bhagavat Preritaha San. And then that Brahma, being impelled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Loka Samstham, Loka Rachana, Swaya Samsthaya, Paripatya, Nama Rupadikramaya. So then, being impelled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Brahma, he creates the worlds. He creates the world according to his own arrangement, literally. Swaya Samsthaya, by his own intelligence, by his own arrangement. That means, according to the arrangement for name, form, etc. That means he creates demigods with certain powers and they are known as devas. Then he creates Gandharvas with certain powers and certain forms, certain characteristics, and he calls them Gandharvas. Then he creates human beings and he gives them certain powers and calls them human beings and so on. So there is Nama, Rupa, Guna, Kriya for different types of created bodies as well as environment. So he creates a mountain, and that's known as a mountain. So in that way, he makes this arrangement, and this arrangement is exactly as how it was before. So it's not that every time he's not that he'll create a some mountain and call it a tree. He won't do things like that. He'll create a mountain the way it was meant to be a mountain. So in other words, the Vedas already have a blueprint. And the Supreme Lord, having entered into his heart, has already shown the light of Vedic knowledge on how the universe is meant to be, and Brahma creates it according to that. At a certain time, the personality of Godhead, Karnodakshai Vishnu, lies in the Karna ocean and produces many thousands of universes from his breathing. Then he enters again into each and every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu and fills up half of each universe with his own perspiration. The other half of the universe remains vacant, and that vacant region is called outer space. Then the lotus flower sprouts from his abdomen and produces the first living creature, Brahma. Then again, as Ksharokshay Vishnu, the Lord enters into the heart of every living entity, including Brahma. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. The Lord says, I am seated in everyone's heart, and by me are remembrance and forgetfulness made possible. As the witness of the activities of the individual entities, the Lord gives each one remembrance and intelligence to act according to his desire. At the time he was annihilated, in his last birth, in the last millennium, this intelligence is invoked according to one's own capacity or by the law of karma. Brahma was the first living entity, and he was empowered by the Supreme Lord to act in charge of the mode of passion. Therefore, he was given the required intelligence, which is so powerful and extensive that he is almost independent of the control of the Supreme Personality of God. Just as a highly posted manager is almost as independent as the owner of a farm, Brahma is described here as independent because, as the Lord's representative to control the universe, he is almost as powerful and independent as the Supreme Personality of God. The Lord, as the super soul within Brahma, gave him the intelligence to create. Therefore, the creative power of every living entity is not his own. It is by the grace of the Lord that one can create. There are many scientists and great workers in this material world who have wonderful creative force, but they act and create only according to the direction of the Supreme Lord. The scientist may create many wonderful inventions by the direction of the Lord, but it's not possible for him to overcome the stringent laws of material nature by his intelligence. Nor is it possible to acquire such intelligence from the Lord, for the Lord's supremacy would then be hampered. So, in other words, we can get intelligence that the Lord gives according to what we deserve. But we cannot become independently as intelligent as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because then it would be tantamount to saying that there are so many intelligent creators who are all independent of each other, whereas the scriptures clearly say there's only one independent Supreme Lord who takes care of everybody else. Nityo Nityanam Chetanash Chetananam. This cosmic manifestation. 18. Sasarja Chayaya Vidya. पंच पर्वाणमग्रतः तामिश्रमंधतामिश्रम तमो मोहो महातमः. First of all, Brahma created from a shadow the coverings of ignorance of the conditioned souls. They are 5 in number and are called Tamisra, Anthatamisra, Tamas, Moha, and Mahamoha. Yaksha, Rakshasa. Yaksha, Rakshasa, Deva, Manushya, Adi, Deheshu, Brahmana, Srashtavyeshu, Jivanam, Ahankaraha, Avidyaya, Vina, Nasambhavet. अतः प्रथमम् अविद्यावृत्ति स्वयमेव ब्रह्म द्वारा आविर्भवति तम आदि रूपेण ब्रह्म ता सर्ज इत्याह. See, Brahma is supposed to create yakshas, rakshasas, devas, manushas, and various other uh, such bodies. These are actually referring to particular types of bodies. Jivas, which cannot happen unless avidya is injected into them. So, first of all, Lord Brahma, he injects the different functions or aspects of avidya. And these aspects of avidya are mentioned here. Tamisram, Anthatamisram, Tamo, Tamaha, Tamas, Moha, Mahatama, all of these. So this Brahma himself brings about. First of all, he you can say installs all these programs. They're all there, but they need to be made usable for the users who are the conditioned souls. Chayaya, Chaya Rupaya, Tanva, Tamasa, Ityarthaha. From his body named shadow. That means through darkness, he created the effect known as tamas. Atra tamo moha mahamoha tamisra andhatamisraha kramena ajnana asmita raga dvesha abhinivesha gyeya. Here tamas, moha, mahamoha, tamisra and andhatamisra respectively refer to ajnana, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, ignorance, sense of false identity, attraction, repulsion, obsession. So there is some question here. Okay, wait, what is this? Completely cleansed of, what is this? completely cleansed of all contamination by traveling to places of pilgrimage. How can one be completely? What is this? This is from the previous session. This is from the previous session.
Yes, Prabhu.
These kind of questions you should ask in Telegram. Once one session goes away, then the next session you'll have to ask that. Concentrate on how can one be completely cleansed of all contamination just by visiting. Now there are procedures for how to visit a place of pilgrimage. So these things have to be observed. Concentrate one's mind on Govinda in any place is a path meant for those who are most spiritually advanced. Who is spiritually advanced? And the ones who are engaged exclusively in devotional service. For them, the conditioned souls are living entities who come to the material world to enjoy sense gratification, are covered in the beginning by 5 different conditions. The first condition is a covering of tamisra or anger. Constitutionally, each and every living entity has minute independence. It is misuse of that minute independence for the conditioned soul to think that he can also enjoy like the Supreme Lord, or to think, why shall I not be a free enjoyer like the Supreme Lord? This forgetfulness of his constitutional position is due to anger or envy. The living entity being eternally a part and parcel servitor of the Supreme Lord can never by constitution be an equal enjoyer with the Lord. When he forgets this whole and tries to be one with him, his condition is called tamisra. Even in the field of spiritual realization, his tamisra mentality of the living entity is hard to overcome. In order to get out of the entanglement of material life, there are many who want to be one with the Supreme. Even in their transcendental activities, that lower grade mentality of Tamasra continues. Andha Tamasra involves considering death to be the ultimate end. The atheists generally think that the body is a self and that everything is therefore ended with the end of the body. Thus, they want to enjoy material life as far as possible during the existence of the body. Their theory is, as long as you live, you should live prosperously. Never mind whether you commit all kinds of so-called sins. You must eat sumptuously, beg, borrow, and steal. And if you think that by stealing and borrowing you are being entangled in sinful activities for which you will have to pay, then just forget that misconception, because after death, everything is finished. No one is responsible for anything he does during his life. This atheistic conception of life is killing human civilization, for it is without knowledge of the continuation of eternal life. This is a standard Charvaka doctrine. Yavad jivet sukham jivet. This Andhada Misra ignorance is due to tamas. The condition of not knowing anything about the spirit soul is called tamas. This material world is also generally called tamas because 99% of its living entities are ignorant of their identity as soul. Almost everyone is thinking that he is this body. He has no information of the spirit soul. Guided by this misconception, one always thinks this is my body, and anything in relationship with this body is mine. For such misguided living entities, sex life is the background of material existence. Actually, the conditioned souls in ignorance in this material world are simply guided by sex life. And as soon as they get the opportunity for sex life, they become attached to so-called home, motherland, children, wealth, and opulence. As these attachments increase, moha, or the illusion of the bodily concept of life, also increases. Thus, the idea that I am this body, uh, everything belonging to this body is mine also increases. And as the whole world is put into moha, sectarian societies, families, and nationalities are created and they fight with one another. Mahamoha means to be mad after material enjoyment. Especially in this age of Kali, everyone is overwhelmed by the madness to accumulate paraphernalia for material enjoyment. These definitions are very nicely given in Vishnu Purana, wherein it is said, Tamo viveko mohasyad antah karna vibhrama mahamohastu vigyeyo gramya bhoga sukhaishana maranam hyantha tamasram krodha uchyate avidya panchaparvaisha pradurbhuta mahatmanaha. 19. Visasarjatmanah kayam नाभिनंदम स्तमोमयम चग्रहु यक्षरक्षांसि रात्रिंक्षुत्रिट समुद्भवाम. Out of disgust, Brahma threw off the body of ignorance, and taking this opportunity, Yakshas and Rakshasas sprang for possession of the body which continued to exist in the form of night. Night is the source of hunger and thirst. Ratrim Shutrit Samudbhava Kayam Chaya Rupam Na Abhinandan. Brahmaji uh, was not very happy with this creation of this darkness, chaya, ignorance. What happened? Something went wrong.
Your laptop is disconnected.
My laptop got disconnected.
No, the screen sharing thing. I think laptop is still there.
No, it went off. Came back.
Oh.
Went off, came back. When something like that happens, immediately please someone tell me. Okay, I thought somebody's hand was up. Whose hand was up?
Prabhu, that 18 sloka, that Vishnu Purana slokas are mentioned. The translation is not there. But
It's just moha. Okay, tamas refers to lack of discrimination. Moha is bewilderment of the internal sense organ. Mahamoha should be understood to be the hankering for for the happiness of ordinary enjoyment, gramya bhoga. This ordinary means animalistic enjoyment. Maranam ki andatamisram. Andatamisra is death. Tamisra is anger. These are so avidya has these five divisions. Pradhanbhuta Mahatma. And avidya came out of the great soul, Lord Brahma. These two verses already were quoted. This is the second time Prabhupada is quoting. Okay. Yes, Sara Darshini. Kayam, Chaya Rupam na Abhinanda. So he was not very happy with this body of ignorance. Brahma was not happy. Hanta Hanta Srishtyaarambhe Tamasa Eva Avrataha Abhuvam iti Vinindya Tatyaja. He was thinking, oh, right in the beginning of creation itself, I became covered over by tamas, darkness. So in that way, he was annoyed and he criticized himself and he rejected that body. Sacha tadvisrishtaha kayaha ratrirabhut. And that which he rejected, that body that he rejected, that itself became night. Tamcha tateva tadanimeva jatani. And at that time itself, Yaksha Rakshamsi, the Yakshas and Rakshasas who were created at that time, who were born at that time, Jagruhu, Svichakruhu. So at that time they embraced Ratri. Iti avidya dharma avarana vikshepau. So avidya and dharma, they are the covering and agitating aspects of ignorance. Yaksha Rakshasam Atyadhika Viti Vivakshitam. And these two are very prominently found, excessively found amongst the Yakshas and Rakshasas. This is the point that he wants to convey. Kidrishim, what is the nature of that night? Shutrisho Samudbhava Yasyam Tam. It is the source of, night is the source of hunger and thirst. Atra Ya Tasya Sa Tanurasid Tam Apahatasa Tamisra Bhavat. This is a statement of the Shruti. He is referring to a statement of the Shruti. Wait, let me first of all check whether it is correct. Ya Asya Tanu. Is it correct? Ya Asya Tanu. It should be Asya. Asya Tanu Rasi Tam Ajahat. See Tam Ajahat. What is all this? Actually, somebody should go through this and fix all this. Sure. Oh, this very incident is noted in Shruti. That's very interesting. And he's saying there are Shruti statements like this which can be scrutinized. That he gave up the body of darkness, and that became Tamisra. Atra dviparartha yushaha. Yushaha? Dviparartha yushaha. Dviparartha ayushaha. Should be. Ayushaha Brahmana. Brahma lives for two pararthas. Brahmana kayatyago nama bhavatyage yokshita. Since Brahma lives for two pararthas, whenever we come across expressions like he gave up his body, it means he gave up a particular attitude. This is the intention. Tatascha brahmanaha manasi krodhadihi tamasaha bhavaha avirbabhuva. So then, in Brahma's mind, the attitudes of anger and so on, which are all tamasic in nature, they all appeared. Tasma yaksha rakshamsi babhu. Then yakshas and rakshasas, they came up. They were created. Such a tamasaka bhavaha ratrikya. And that tamasic attitude, that became night. Tamcha yaksha rakshamsi eva jagruhu. And the yakshas and rakshasas, they simply grabbed that night. Iti etavan eva artha. This alone is what is meant to be conveyed here. Srishti artham yoga balena pratak pratak kaya grahana tyaga bhaktve api dviparartha ayuhu ayustvam tasya na vyahanyate. Even though for the sake of creation, through the strength of his mystic opulences, he has the ability to create and give up separately various bodies. Despite that, his lifespan of extending up to two pararthas is not disturbed. Vishaya bhogartham api indradi devanam nanarupa grahana tyaga darshanat iti api. Some authorities say that even for sense enjoyment, Indra and the other devas, we see that they accept and reject various simultaneous forms. Okay, then we go forward. Okay, further questions. Did Brahmaji give up his body? Which body is this? That is this body of ignorance. Night is a source of hunger and thirst for whom? For yakshas and rakshasas, it is especially for them. For those who are tamasic, their basic field of activity is at night. So they have a very prominent night life, you can say. 20. Shutridbhyam upasrishtaste tam jagdhum abhidubhruvuh ma rakshatainam jakshadhvam ityuchukshutrid arditah. Overpowered by hunger and thirst, they ran to devour Brahma from all sides and cried, "Spare him not, eat him up." Yes.
Prabhu, these tamasic entities, they are already created at this point.
At that time, Rakshasas were created, yes.
And when you are saying that Brahmaji gave up a particular attitude, that means he is not giving up a physical gross body. It's not, I mean, anyways, he doesn't have gross body, but he is giving like something sort of subtle body, giving away.
Yeah, something like that. The gross elements do exist, throughout this, throughout each Brahmanda. We know that because the universal coverings themselves are earth, water, fire, air, ether. So we know that that exists all the way up. But they don't have a Annamaya Sharira. They don't have a body which requires to be nourished by food, um, food substances of gross food. They don't require that. Okay. Let's continue with this. Okay. Upasrashta, Upadruta. Okay, they were disturbed by, they were overcome by hunger and thirst, means that they were overpowered by hunger and thirst. That means that they were disturbed by hunger and thirst. Tam Brahmanam Jantum Bhakshayitum. They wanted to eat up Brahma. Tatra Denam Pita iti Kripaya Ma Raksha iti Uchuhu. And then there were some who were saying, he is our father. Please do not eat him up. Ma Raksha. What does it say, Ma Raksha? What does Raksha mean? Don't spare him. Out of compassion, they wanted to eat him. Wow. These kind of people exist. Jakshadhvam iti Jaksha Bhaksha Hasanayor ityasma. My God. That's all terrible. The representatives of the Yakshas and Rakshasas still exist in some countries of the world. It's understood that such uncivilized men take pleasure in killing their own grandfathers and holding a love feast by roasting the body. 21. Devasthanaha samvigno mamam jakshata rakshata aho me yaksha rakshamsi prajayuyam babhuvitha. Brahma, the head of the demigods, full of anxiety, asked them, do not eat me, but protect me. You are born from me and have become my sons. Therefore, you are yakshas and rakshasas. So here, Devaha refers to Lord Brahma. Mam na bhakshayata, into rakshata. Don't eat me, protect me. Ho ascharyam, hey yaksha rakshami. This is astonishing. Oh, Yakshas and Rakshasas, you are trying to eat me. The demons who were born from the body of Brahma were called Yakshas and Rakshasas because some of them cried that Brahma should be eaten, and others cried that he should not be protected. The ones who said that he should be eaten were called Yakshas, and the ones who said that he should not be protected became Rakshasas, man-eaters. So then they had pity for whom? I think they had pity for themselves only. Kripaya. They were having pity for themselves, saying that we are being tormented by hunger and thirst. Therefore, we should eat him up. The two, Yakshas and Rakshasas, are the original creation by Brahma and are represented even until today in the uncivilized men who are scattered all over the universe. They are born of the mode of ignorance, and therefore, because of their behavior, they are called Rakshasas or man-eaters. 22. Devata Prabhaya Yaya Divyam Pramukha Tosrujat Te Aharshur. No, Te Aharshu Devayanto Trishtantam Prabham Aha. He then created the chief demigods who were shining in the glory of goodness. So through his Prabha, he created the Devatas. He dropped before them the effulgent form of daytime, and the demigods sportingly took possession of it. Prabhaya, Prabhava Rupaya, Sattvamaya Tanva, Divyan, Yotamanaha. So Brahma was shining with a sattvic body, a body of goodness, which was having a form of effulgence. So it was shining. It had the glory of light. Ya devata pramukhatah pradhanyena asrijat. And he created all those devatas who were primary, predominant. Atra ya iti asya api te iti anena pratinirdesh arthamatra drishtya eva gyayah. So anyway, that's a grammatical note. Visrishtam tena tyaktam tam prabham divasarupam tattanum harshiko jagru. So these devas, they took that body of daylight, daytime. Kimartham, why? Taha devayantah kridayantah kridayitum yatha ratrir yaksharaksho saha tishtati tata ahopi devai divyati iti artha. So just as night time. Okay, why did they seize this daytime? Because they wanted to sport during daytime. They wanted to sport with daytime. Just as the Yakshas and Rakshasas, they live along with night. That means they live and enjoy life at night. The Devas also, they sport during daytime. It is Sandarbha. This is the opinion of the Sandarbha. Atra Brahmanaha Manasi Prasadaha Satvika Bhava Avirbhuva. Guru, one should simply understand that what this means is, in Brahma's mind, satisfaction arose, which is actually an aspect of Sattva Guna. It is a sattvic attitude. Tasma, tasma, what is tasma? Tasma, tasma, deva bhuvu. And from that attitude, the devas arose. Such a prasadaha dinam bhuva. And that satisfaction of Lord Brahma became daytime. Tachate eva jagruhu. Iti etavaneva arthaha. And these devas, they took up that daylight. This alone is what is the intended meaning here. Demons were born from the creation of night, and the demigods were born from the creation of day. In other words, demons like the Yakshas and Rakshasas are born of the quality of ignorance, and demigods are born of the quality of goodness. 23. Devo devan jaghanatah srijati smati lolupan ta enam lolupataya maithunaya abhi pedire. Lord Brahma then gave birth to the demons from his buttocks, and they were very fond of sex. Because they were too lustful, they approached him for copulation. एवं च तस्य मनसि कामः राजसभावः तस्मात् wait तस्मात् should be तस्मात् asura bhavu. Then in Brahma's mind, kama, which is an lust, which is actually an aspect of rajoguna, that appeared. From that, the asuras came. Such a bhavaha sandhya abhut. And that attitude, it became sandhya, twilight. Tam cha asura jagruhu ityaha. And the asuras grabbed sandhya. That is noted in the series of verses beginning with 23. Adevan sa jagannath asurana asrijata iti shrute. So here Adevan, based on the Shruti statement, we understand to be referring to the asuras. Kamat anarthah mahan bhavati. Has given an interesting remark. Where do I have it? How do I get that? Wait. Bhagavad with 18 tikas, but I need to connect. I thought this all too much. I don't have the drive connected. Anyway, Vallabhacharya points out in this regard, in his Subodhini, that those who are excessively lusty, those males who are excessively lusty, they even have lust for other males. That is why this word ati lolupan is used, excessive. So they had extra lust. It is not normal. It is abnormal amount of the desire for sex. Okay, what is this question?
So, Prabhu, what I can understand, I don't know if it is correct. You can please confirm. Brahmaji is giving away different forms to different created entities. Like he gave his nighttime form to Yaksha Rakshasas, then he gave his daytime form to demigods, Sandhya form to Asuras. Is this the meaning, bro?
Yes. Yes.
But I'm still unable to grasp it completely. That he, like in 23rd translation or 22nd translation, he dropped before them the effulgent form of daytime. So, is this an attitude or what it is actually, which Brahmaji is taking and then dropping? Like, is it kind of some body? What it is, I'm unable to understand.
There you go.
Prabhu, was I audible? Was my question coming? You could hear?
I could not hear. If you said something just after what I said, I could not hear it.
Oh, I was asking that in 22nd verse there is a line that Brahmaji dropped before them the effulgent form. So I wanted some clarification on this form. Was it a body? Was it an attitude? What it was?
Attitude only becomes the body. The attitude only becomes his body. These are demigods. They can simply throw away an aspect of their thought process in the form of a body. They can do all these things.
Okay, bro.
Okay. Sex life is the background of material existence. Here also it is repeated that demons are very fond of sex life. The more one is free from the desire for sex, the more he is promoted to the level of the demigods. The more one is inclined to enjoy sex, the more he is degraded to the level of demoniac life. 24. Tato hasansa bhagavan asurair nirapatra paih anviyamanas tarasa krudho bhita parapatat. The worshipful Brahma first laughed at their stupidity, but finding the shameless asuras close upon him, he grew indignant. He became very angry and ran in great haste out of fear. Sexually inclined demons have no respect even for their father, and the best policy for a saintly father like Brahma is to leave such demoniac sons. So the idea is that Vallabhacharya himself, he says that when the scripture says that one should not approach one's mother, then it is also understood that he should not approach his father. That is in fact more lusty. Homosexuality is due to excessive lust. Heterosexuality is superior to homosexuality. And superior to heterosexuality is restricted heterosexuality within married life between a man and a woman. And superior to that is celibacy. 25. Parapatat palayata. Okay. 25. So, upavrajya varadam prapannarthi haram harim Anugrahaya bhaktanam anurupatma darshanam. He approached the personality of Godhead, who bestows all boons and who dispels the agony of his devotees and of those who take shelter of his lotus feet. He manifests his innumerable transcendental forms for the satisfaction of his devotees. Upavrajya, manasa eva upasadhya, nivedayam asa iti sheshaha. So he approached the personality of Godhead in his mind. In his mind, he was praying to the Supreme Lord. And in his mind, he was submitting a prayer to Lord Hari. Here, the words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshanam means that the personality of Godhead manifests his multi-forms according to the desires of the devotees. For example, Hanumanji, Vajrangaji wanted to see the form of the Lord as the personality of Godhead Ramachandra, whereas other Vaishnavas want to see the form of Radha Krishna. And still other devotees want to see the Lord in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. The Mayavadi philosophers think that although all these forms are assumed by the Lord just as the devotees desire to see him, actually he is impersonal. From the Brahma Samhita, however, we can understand that this is not so, for the Lord has multi-forms. It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam, the Lord does not appear before the devotee because of the devotee's imagination. Brahma Samhita further explains that the Lord has innumerable forms. Ramadi Murti Shutalan, Yamena Tishthan. He exists in millions and millions of forms. There are 8,400,000 species of living entities, but the incarnations of the Supreme Lord are innumerable. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that as the waves in the sea cannot be counted but appear and disappear continually, the incarnations and forms of the Lord are innumerable. The devotee is attached to a particular form, and it is said that, and that form which he worships. We have just described the first appearance of the boar within this universe. There are innumerable universes, and somewhere or other, the boar form is now existing. All the forms of the Lord are eternal. It is the devotee's inclination to worship a particular form, and he engages in devotional service to that form. In a verse in the Ramayana, Hanuman, the great devotee of Ram, said, I know that there is no difference between the Sita Ram and Lakshmi Narayan forms of the Supreme Personality of God. But nevertheless, the form of Ram and Sita has absorbed my affection and love. Therefore, I want to see the Lord in the forms of Ram and Sita. Similarly, the Gaudiya Vaishnava loves the forms of Radha and Krishna and Rukmini and Dwaraka. The words Bhaktanam Anurupatma Darshana mean that the Lord is always pleased to favor the devotee in the particular form in which the devotee wants to worship and render service unto him. In this verse, it is stated that Brahma approached Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This form of the Lord is Kshirodavishai Vishnu. Whenever there is some trouble and Brahma has to approach the Lord, he can approach Kshirodavishai Vishnu. And it is the grace of the Lord that whenever Brahma approaches about disturbances in the universe, the Lord gives him relief in so many ways. 26. Pahimam Paramatmam Ste Preshanena Srijam Praja Ta Ima Yabhitum Papa Upakramanti Mam Prabho. Lord Brahma, approaching the Lord, addressed him thus: My Lord, please protect me from these sinful demons who were created by me under your order. They are infuriated by an appetite for sex and have come to attack me. It appears here that the homosexual appetite of males for each other is created in this episode of the creation of the demons by Brahma. In other words, the homosexual appetite of a man for another man is demoniac and is not for any sane male in the ordinary course of life. 27. Tvam eka kila lokanam klishtanam kleshanashana. Tvam eka kleshadastesham anasanna padam tava. My Lord, you are the only one capable of ending the affliction of the distressed and inflicting agony on those who never resort to your feet. Tava an asanna padam tvat pada avana ashrita vatam tvat pada no tvat pada
Mm. The sound is not coming. The voice is not coming.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Sometimes it happens that for like 30 seconds, 1 minute.
So what we should do?
Today it has been like 2-3 times it has happened, Prabhu.
We have two internet connection. From which are you connected now?
From which am I connected now? Right. TP link 5G.
So I don't know. Try to connect with another and see.
Another is TP, another is JPS R35. Yeah, sorry. Can anyone hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
So we'll try our luck with this.
Yes, bro. That's right.
Okay. तेन क्लिष्टानामपि त्वत्पादौ आश्रितवतां भक्तानां त्वं क्लेशनाशन इति गम्यते. So those devotees of yours who do take shelter of your feet, you destroy their distresses. This can be inferred logically. एक इत्येवं भक्तः एवं विधः भक्तवत्सलः कोऽपि नास्ति इति भावः. The implication is the word eka, you alone implies that there is no one who is as much affectionate to his devotee as you are. Tvacharanam anashritavatam kalakarma grahadi rupena tvameva eka kleshatah. For those who do not take shelter of your feet, you alone are the provider of their distress in the form of the destructive force of time, kala, karmic reactions, karma, graha, planetary influences, and so on. Tesham eva akasma charana ashritatve sati sakshat tvam eva tat kleshana asana. And as soon as they take shelter of your feet, immediately and directly, you yourself destroy those distresses. Tvad bhakteshu kala karma adinam anadhikarat iti ashaya. The intention is to point out that for your devotees, there is no disturbance caused by time, karmic reactions, planetary influences, and so on. Tvayi vaishamya bhavaha tu kalpataru drishtantena. And the disparity that we see in your dealings has to be understood in terms of the kalpataru, the desired tree. Whatever you ask a kalpataru, it provides. And if you don't ask, then it does not provide. So you may have different people who may be near a kalpataru. Some of them may be happy and the others not so happy. Why is this disparity? It is because some of them are taking shelter of it, the others are not taking shelter of it. The words kleshadas tesham anasanna padam tava indicate that the Lord has two concerns. The first is to give protection to persons who take shelter of his lotus feet. And the second is to give trouble to those who are always demoniac and who are inimical towards the Lord. Maya's function is to give afflictions to the non-devotees. Here Brahma said, you are the protector of the surrendered souls. Therefore, I surrender unto your lotus feet. Please give me protection from these demons. 28. Sovadharyasya karpanyam viviktadhyatmadarshanaha vimunchatmattanam ghoram ityukto vimochaha saha avadharya asya karpanyam vivikta vimuncha atmatanam ghoram iti uktaha vimocha. The Lord who can distinctly see the minds of others. Vivikta Adhyatma Darshana. One who can undoubtedly perceive the minds of others. Perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, cast off this impure body of yours. Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. So he saw the karpanya or the distress of Brahma and he gave this instruction to him. Viviktam asandigdham adhyatma darshanam parachitta jnanam yasya saha. Vimuncha iti uktavan iti sheshaha. Iti uttesya brahmatanam vimuvacha. All of this is already covered. The Lord is described here by the word Vivikta Dhyatma Darshana. If anyone can completely perceive another's distress without doubt, it is the Lord Himself. If someone is in distress and wants to get relief from his friend, sometimes it so happens that his friend does not appreciate the volume of distress he is suffering. But for the Supreme Lord, it is not difficult. The Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is sitting within the heart of every living entity and He directly perceives the exact causes of distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha. I'm sitting in everyone's heart, and because of me, one's remembrance and forgetfulness occur. Thus, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, one finds that He's sitting within one's heart. He can give us direction how to get out of dangers or how to approach Him in devotional service. The Lord, however, asked Brahma to give up his present body because it had created the demoniac principle. According to Sridhar Swami, Brahma's constant dropping of his body does not refer to his actually giving up his body. Rather, he suggests that Brahma gave up a particular mentality. Mind is the subtle body of the living entity. We may sometimes be absorbed in some thought which is sinful. But if we give up the sinful thought, it may be said that we give up the body. Brahma's mind was not in correct order when he created the demons. It must have been full of passion because the entire creation was passionate. Therefore, such passionate sons were born. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful when begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. That is because that kind of child will be attracted.
Prabhu, we are unable to hear if you are saying something.
Haribol, can you hear me?
Yeah, now it came back.
Okay, when did it go away?
When you were saying about attracting a particular living entity as per mental condition.
And then I just continued reading. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful while begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. According to the Vedic system, therefore, the Garbhadansa samskara, or the ceremony for giving birth to a child, is observed. Before begetting a child, one has to sanctify his perplexed mind. When the parents engage their minds in the lotus feet of the Lord, and in such a state the child is born, naturally good devotee children come. When the society is full of such good population, there is no trouble from demoniac mentalities. See, this concept of having good children, children, of course, generally, they are obedient to their affectionate caretakers, generally, within our observation. But still, it is very important to attract the right type of souls because different living entities have different faiths, different shraddhas. So that is very intrinsic to that living entity because he has developed a certain conviction over several years and decades in the previous life or many lifetimes also. So since the childhood, they will have a certain conviction that I must engage in spiritual activities. These things may be very vague and unclear initially, and then over the years as they grow up, things become much more and more clear. So therefore, attracting the right type of souls was considered to be something of very great importance in Vedic civilization. Because if you attract the right type of soul, then based on the ability to use one's intelligence to understand the scriptures, such souls will be able to understand what to do in life. So they'll not become disoriented by their life experience. 29. Nature, dominated as they are by the element of rajas, took it for a damsel whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth, over which shone a girdle. Matva मूढधियः स्त्रियम् इति अग्रिमोक्तेः तां सन्ध्यामेव स्त्रियं कल्पयित्वा स्त्रीलम्पटाः असुराः मुमुहुः इत्याह. So it looks like these asuras were bisexuals. They were both attracted to male and they were attracted to female. Actually, what was happening was, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, later on it will be stated that these people of dull intelligence, bewildered intelligence, they considered this twilight to be a woman. So from that it is understood that these people were womanizers, and therefore they imagined that Sandhya itself is a beautiful woman. And what they had imagined is what is described here. अत्र स्वस्वं नीडं प्रति गन्तुं नभसि स्वशब्दम् उड्डीना चटक सारस आदीनेव नुपुरकाञ्च्यादीन् कल्पयन्ति स्म. So different aspects of Sandhya time itself were imagined to be the Nupura, the Kanchi, Nupura is what is it? Anklets. Kanchi is the girdle that is put around the waist, and so on. Just like the Chatakas, Sarasas, and others who were going back to their places, going back to their nests, and they make all these sounds while they're flying. So all of these were imagined in this particular manner as the nupura of a woman, and so on. Tattat akaran megha khandan eva charana nayana nitambastanavi. And particular aspects of twilight in the form of parts of the clouds, they were imagined to be the feet, the eyes, the buttocks, the breasts, and so on of a woman. Atayeva, what is this? Katra Shlesha. Okay. So say Kutra. What is this? This is 29, 6, 28, 29. No, 29 is a correct. 29, 30, 31 are together. अतएव एकत्र श्लेषेण पयोदरशब्दोपन्यस्तः संध्याया आरुण्यम् एव अरुण दुपुर रोधः कटितलं श्लेषया इति भिदा. So, and the redness of Sandhya, of evening twilight, because of that, they considered that she was wearing a red cloth. very beautiful woman with tinkling bangles on her feet, a girdle on her hips, and beautiful breasts, and for their sexual satisfaction, they imagined the appearance of this beautiful girl before them. 30. Anyonya Shleshayo Tunga Nirantara Payodharam Sunasam Subdvijam Snigdhasal Leela Valokanam. Her breasts projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras. All of this is inside their silly imagination. This is all originally different aspects of evening twilight. यत्किंचित् सूर्यप्रकाशमेव हास्यावलोकने कदाचित् तन्मेघखण्डान्तर्धानमेव, like the rays of the sun that were coming about, and like that, different the disappearance of a portion of the cloud. They imagine that to be the shy suppression of a smile of such a woman, like that. 31. Guhantim hridayatmanam nila alagavarutini upalabhyasura dharma sarve sammuhu striyam, adorned with dark tresses, dark hair. She hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex. Tam striyam upalabhya matva. Upon seeing means upon imagining. The difference between the demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the minds of demons, but she cannot attract the mind of a godly person. A godly person is full of knowledge, and a demoniac person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly, a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sex. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breasts, high hips, beautiful nose, and fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised all persons not to be attracted by the interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty. In spiritual life, the real beauty is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted.
You are again not audible.
The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty, what rare self-control, what a budding youth in the midst of us all who are passionately longing for her. She is moving about like one absolutely free from passion. Tesham kamamoha pralapamaha. So this is their pralapa, nonsensical talk, due to the bewilderment caused by their lust. 33. Vitarkayanto bhoda tam sandhyam pramadakritim apisambhavya visrambha paryaprachan kumedhasaha, indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman. The wicked-minded Asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows. Kim yam asmasu eva anuragini nyatrava devi manushi va vrishasyanti brahmacharini va ityevam vitarkayantaha. So they were discussing among themselves, who is this? Is she attracted to us only, or is she attracted to others also? Who is this playful young girl? Is she a demigoddess? Is she a human female? Is she searching for a husband? Is she a brahmacharini? So in this way, they were all speculating among themselves. Api sambhavya satkritya. And they treated her with respect. Okay, question.
Prabhu, my question is, Brahmaji approached Lord and then he said that you cast off this body. But he was already, before he casted one body to Yaksha and Rakshasa, gave one body to demigods. So for Asuras also he could have given away the body without approaching the Lord only.
I did not follow. They were harassing. They were harassing him. They were coming to rape him. So he prayed to the Lord.
No, but eventually he had to give up that body. And then Asuras, they are about to take possession of it. But same thing he has already done 2 times before.
Oh.
So he gave one body to demigods, he gave one knight form to Yakshas and Rakshasas when they were attacking him to eat.
Okay, and these are Rakshasas. These are Asuras, sorry. This is a different group.
Yeah, so again he could have spontaneously repeated what he had done previously 2 times instead of being
Why?
panicked and approaching the Lord.
Why? No, there are different things that need to be created. These are all different circumstances that lead to creation of particular aspects of the universe. How can he create the same thing twice? Creation itself means that he has already unpacked.
No, bro, not creating the same thing. Means following the same course of action which he followed before by
Like
giving
what?
up one body.
Like what?
Like giving one's body even without requesting the Lord.
Wait, what is
Previously,
wrong? When he's in a problem, he approaches his master normal only. He is creating. First he creates night, then he creates daytime. Then these fellows they approach him. This Asuric characters approach him. So to distract them, yeah, first of all he ridicules them. They don't understand. They're still approaching him. So then he becomes terrified naturally. All civilized men will be terrified. So then he takes shelter of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu tells him, then, okay, now you give up this. So he gives up. What is the issue here? Lord Vishnu only tells him to give up. That's why he's giving up.
and he also gave up one body to Asuras and Yakshas and Rakshasas.
That is the night.
Yeah, so that is what I was like trying to ask.
So the question is why he approached Lord? Why he didn't give up automatically as he gave to Yakshas, Rakshasas and like that?
Because he is paranoid. This people are coming. What do? You cannot think all these kind of things at that moment. So spontaneously he prays to the Supreme Lord. When he is in difficulty, immediately he takes shelter of the Lord. That is also indicated very nicely here. As soon as he is in difficulty, immediately prays to the Lord. He is Lord Brahma, no, he is a topmost devotee. So instantly he prays to the Lord. And instantly the Lord also appears to him and gives him a solution. That also we can understand from this. Okay, here is chat box. How do ghosts get food? Do they require food to live? They have their own. This ghost management I have not studied yet, but I think that there are ways of pacifying them. Usually, they require somebody's gross body to eat because they have all these desires for gross enjoyment. They have desire for gross enjoyment. That is a ghost. That is why it is so terrible to become a ghost, because you have all desires for gross enjoyment and you cannot engage in gross enjoyment of any kind because you don't have a gross body. Okay, and then okay, this homosex is created for the demons, not for humans. how it comes to humans then. When humans become influenced by demoniac beings, then you see human species is in between now. So it is quite easy for them to be either affected by demigods or be affected by demons, by those who are up or those who are down. So when they're up, then they receive the benefits that the demigods are experiencing. Or when you are affected by the life species which is below, then you get affected by their problems. Okay, then here is another one. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Why, after knowing that woman's body is made of flesh and blood, still intelligent person also gets attracted? That is by the force of Maya. That's Maya's business. Her business is to uh, constantly present obstacles to the intelligent people, to make them more strict and tough. 34. काशिकस्यास्य रंभोरु कोवार्थस्तेत्र भामिनी रूपद्रविणपण्येन दुर्भगान no vibadhase. Who are you, O pretty girl? Whose wife or daughter are you? And what can be the object of your appearing before us? Why do you tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty? Rupameva dravinam anarghyam vastu tadeva panyam krayarham tasma tena अस्मान् दुर्भगान् दास्य अनर्हानपि विबाधसे वध्वा स्वसंगे एव जिघृक्षसि. We are unfortunate. We are unfortunate means that we don't deserve your service. Still, you disturb us. You know, it cannot be Badhva, it can be Badhva. But you are devouring us with your association. Yadva vibhadase na krinasi dhig asman durbhaga. Why don't you buy us? We are most unfortunate. That's another meaning. The mentality of the demons is in being enamored by the false beauty of this material world is expressed here. The demoniac can pay any price for the skin beauty of this material world. They work very hard all day and night. But the purpose of their hard work is to enjoy sex life. Sometimes they misrepresent themselves as karma yogis, not knowing the meaning of the word yoga. Yoga means to link up with the Supreme Personality of God in order to act in Krishna consciousness. A person who works very hard, no matter in what occupation, and who offers the result of the work to the service of the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, is called a karma yogi. 35. Ya va kachit tvam avale dishtya sandarshanam tava utsuno shi shamananam kanduka kridayamana. Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, we are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with the ball, you have agitated the minds of all onlookers. Utsunoshi matnasi kanduka kridaya iti astam gachan chanchala surya eva aruna kandukattvena kalpitaha. The shaking sun that is setting at the time of twilight, that itself is imagined by these people to be a red ball with which she is playing. Demons arrange many kinds of performances to see the glaring beauty of a beautiful woman. Here it is stated that they saw the girl playing with a ball. Sometimes the demoniac arrange for so-called sports like tennis with the opposite sex. The purpose of such sporting is to see the bodily construction of the beautiful girl and enjoy a subtle sex mentality. This demoniac sex mentality of material enjoyment is sometimes encouraged by so-called yogis who encourage the public to enjoy sex life in different varieties, and at the same time advertise that if one meditates on a certain manufactured mantra, one can become God within 6 months. The public wants to be cheated, and Krishna therefore creates such cheaters to misrepresent and delude. These so-called yogis are actually enjoyers of the world garbed as yogis. Bhagavad Gita, however, recommends that if one wants to enjoy life, then it cannot be with these gross senses. A patient is advised by the experienced physician to refrain from ordinary enjoyment while in the diseased condition. A diseased person cannot enjoy anything. He has to restrain his enjoyment in order to get rid of the disease. Similarly, our material condition is a diseased condition. If one wants to enjoy real spiritual enjoyment, then one must get free of the entanglement of material existence. In spiritual life, we can enjoy sense enjoyment, which has no end. The difference between material and spiritual enjoyment is that material enjoyment is limited. Even if a man engages in material sex enjoyment, he cannot enjoy it for long. But when the sex enjoyment is given up, then one can enter spiritual life, which is unending. In the Bhagavatam 5.5.1, it is stated that Brahma Saukhya, spiritual happiness, is ananta, unending. Foolish creatures are enamored by the beauty of matter and think that the enjoyment it offers is real, but actually that is not real enjoyment. Okay, that's a question there.
Prabhu, why this episode is described so much? Like, is it like a warning to us?
Yeah,
What?
naturally.
Okay. Okay.
Somapati Gauranga Prabhu has a question.
Bro, is it that much easy to give up sexual enjoyment?
No, not at all.
So how to work on it?
For that, we need to be in the right association. We have to follow. Prabhupada has given a methodology. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given a methodology. We follow all these things. Then, to whatever extent we follow, to that extent, we will be able to progress and become free from lust, anger, greed. These are the three gateways to hell.
We also hear that Prabhupada says in somewhere that until unless you get that Govinda Kripa, it is not possible to give up this sex desire.
Clearly, not only sex desire, lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, delusion, all of this. Without mercy, how we can get out of this? So we need Krishna's mercy. We need the mercy of Hari Guru Vaishnava, more advanced devotees. We require the blessings of Lord Krishna, his perfect pure devotees, his pure devotees, and even devotees who are aspiring to become pure devotees who are more advanced than us. All of these things are required. We should not commit offenses. We need to follow our swadharma. We need to be accepting the prescriptions and prohibitions pertaining to our swadharma carefully. All of these things will help. We need to increasingly chant. We need to surrender, Shadaka, Sharanagati. All these things, when we do only, then we'll be able to progress. All right.
Yes, bro. Bro, one more last question. Yesterday we were reading book reading. So there we find one question that in Navavida Bhakti, so there are 9 devotees who are mentioned, right? Like Lakshmi Devi is serving the lotus feet of the Lord and she attained perfection, it is mentioned.
That's okay. She comes to this world to teach us how to serve the Lord's lotus feet. That's all.
But she's serving in the spiritual world, right?
That's okay. But she comes to this world to teach, to teach the universe that you serve the Lord's lotus feet, and then you can attain Him. Because these pastimes also keep coming again and again. She appears in this world, and then she serves the Lord's lotus feet, and then the Lord says, "Okay, so I'll take you to Vaikuntha." Like this, it is shown. See, I went to Vaikuntha. You serve the Lord's lotus feet. You will also go to Vaikuntha. Focus on Pada Sevanam. So, like that, particular persons are used by the Supreme Lord to teach. Just like Arjuna, Arjuna is an eternal associate of Krishna. But through that Sakhyam, we understand that we can also attain the spiritual kingdom of the Lord. So, like that. That is for us to learn through their activities. We will come, the appearance of Lakshmi Devi will very briefly, it will come in a later canto. So there you'll see.
Oh, yes, bro. Yes, bro. Thank you.
Okay.